opinion. That game was, we told us it'd be close. You told us it might not be high scoring. Just your initial thoughts after a hard fought game.
I'm just proud of the football team and how they came play against the defending champs. They put up a great effort. We didn't came here to get patted on the back by anybody. We came here to win the football game. So ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to win that game, and that's the only goal that you have when you go to play these games.
Is there anything AJ can learn from that? Obviously, had that in the grips and just hit the turf and the ball bounced away.
It's not just AJ. We talked about it throughout the week. It was part of the plays that you need to win the game. We talked about, Patrick Mahomes potentially throwing you a few, and when he throws them up there in the air, you got to come down with him. And who knew it would end just like that? But it did. If we come down with that one, that's the difference in the game. That's the difference in us sealing the victory. We're able to get it, and they capitalize afterwards.
Did somebody get in your ear, Coach, or what did you see in order to challenge that play?
The stadium did a great job of not showing it. It was a great job of the ball being up in the air and us coming down with it, coming out at the end, and it was just too big of a play not to challenge. And ultimately, I had to make the decision on my own right there, and I did. And I went for the challenge and try to see what happens, see what New York says.
It seemed you guys were getting great pressure with just a four-man rush today. Do you agree with that? And how often did you even blitz?
We did a nice job of having some simulated pressure. Some of our guys coming from the back end. Some of our guys coming from the linebacker position. But our D-line really stepped up today to get them out the pocket, getting a really good quarterback on the move. And I shouldn't call him good. A really great quarterback on the move in order to make him a little bit confused and in order not to make the plays that he normally makes.
Yeah, what was the blueprint, Coach? Because no other team this year has been able to slow them down like you did today.
None of your business.
You don't want to share that with the rest of the league?
Watch it on tape.
What started to work in the fourth quarter where the offense really started to find their rhythm?
The offense had some success all day moving the football. The ability to run the football today, the ability to spread those guys out and throw some balls. We didn't get as many explosives as we wanted to. We didn't get the ultimate, as many points as we wanted to. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they fought tough. They played well. They stayed with it. They stayed resilient. And ultimately, those guys won't be happy with their results. But it is what it is. We got to find a way to win those games.
Did you have to make any adjustments offensively to kind of get them going late in that second half?
You always got to make adjustments, especially when you're playing really good football teams and you got to do some things differently. The guys did a great job on offense to coming out, really getting us in position to win that game and really getting us in position to tie that game and send it to overtime. And unfortunately, we missed the kick. We missed the kick with our Pro Bowl kicker.
I was about to say, death taxes and coup kicking field goals this year guarantees of life. What do you say to a young man who's been automatic and, had it right there for you?
Absolutely nothing. You go hug him and tell him you love him. And exactly what I did and told him, his day will come and it's going to come very shortly. What's
your biggest takeaway in a game like this where you had a chance and most everybody, there are so-called experts out there, Coach, had you guys losing big?
It's really a credit to the team. It's really a credit to the organization. The biggest takeaway from it is that we can play with anybody. And you can line them up, and we got a chance to go out there and get after them. And these guys certainly can show that, and we've certainly been able to do it most of the year. We haven't been able to win these games that come down to the wire. And we got to find a way to win these games down the wire. We got to be more consistent with us running the football, and we got to be more consistent with the pass rush that we showed today.
I know I think my calculations had 8 games this year by a touchdown or less, Coach. Because it was on the road, because it was against the defending champs, does this one hurt even more in a tough loss?
No, they all hurt. It is what it is. They all feel the same. They all are the same. You got to go out and try to get wins. They're no different until you get to the playoffs, and ultimately that's where we want to be at one point.
I know you're not active on social media, but so many fans were very proud of the effort, proud of the way you guys competed today, but we're also, quote unquote, happy because of the draft position. I know you could care less about that because you want wins. What do you say to that fan base who says, you know what, it was a good outcome today?
Our fan base is very knowledgeable, and that's their job to cheer for those type of things, but our job is to go out and win football games. We really love those guys. We really love Atlanta. We love everything we stand for, and when that time comes, we'll address those accordingly.
Does a performance like this, Coach, maybe indicate that you are closer than many people think, hanging toe-to-toe with the defending champs?
I'm not really concerned what other people think. I'm more concerned with what I think, and I think we are close. I do think we have the talent. I think we have the people. And we got to fix some things. We got to do some things better in order to put ourselves in position to be in these meaningful games at the end of the season. And I know we can do it with the guys that we have in this room right now. So let's just go and figure out what's going to happen and be ready to deal and get ready to play Tampa Bay next week.
I think it was a 3rd and 1. Coach Gurley ran for about a 2-yard play. Did you think about calling a timeout there to save some clock?
I can't really recall the play right now. Okay. Right now I was in a situation where we was trying to bleed the clock and not give Patrick Mahomes another chance. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I know we had intentions on using the clock when we wanted to use it, and it wasn't there.
Grady versus Chris Jones, two just, the Warriors out there. What do you think of that matchup, and who do you think had the better day?
I just love those guys. We got to obviously go look at the tapes who had the better day, but obviously Chris Jones was a factor, especially there at the end. Grady's always going to be a factor for us and what he's able to bring to us and just what he does for us as a football team, as a man, as a character guy. It is what it is, man. We'll go look at the tape and see what happened. But obviously, Chris Jones won today. They got the win.
We appreciate your time. Safe travels. We'll talk this week.
We'll do, man. See you guys later.
First, we'll talk about the makeshift off the offensive line. What do you think of Gono and the first start from Hennessy?
Yeah, I'll have to watch, but, I thought they did a good job. There's some really good interior tackles, for the Kansas City Chiefs and not easy guys to go against. And they held up, so I think both of them, will have some things they'd like to improve for sure, but that's everybody. For the most part, on balance, I thought they did a nice job the entire day.
You guys were finding a rhythm late in that second half. Did you guys do anything differently, make any adjustments to kind of get in that flow?
No, I think we just, I think we did a pretty nice job the entire day. We just had a few things that kind of got us off schedule, whether it be penalties, missed assignments that kind of put us behind the chains. And going against a good football team like that, they're going to be hard to overcome. I thought we did a better job of staying in front of the chains and executing on first and second down in the second half.
On that last possession, it was a 3rd and 1. Gurley gets a couple yards with under a minute to go to give you guys a first down. Any thoughts, Matt, about taking a timeout there, stop the clock, or are you trying to get them off balance as the clock continued to bleed?
No, I that's not my call, but I thought it was good just to keep them off balance. We had plenty of time from where we were at on the field. We had plenty of time, and we got 3 sets of downs in after that, and had a really good chance for a touchdown on a double move to Calvin, and we just didn't hold up. But no, I thought we did fine there. We gave ourselves a chance.
Many fans in all facets of the league, Matt, want their teams to have the best draft pick available. That's all I think about right now. Can you explain how that contrasts with the mindset of players and coaches?
Yeah, I mean, you understand that from the fans' perspective, but, our job is to go out there and compete and win. And that's what we get, paid to do. And so, it's disappointing. You put out all the hard work in all week, and you go out there and give yourself a chance, and you fall a little bit short. It's tough.
What's your biggest takeaway in this game where you played so well to the defending champs only to have it come up that short?
I think it's a great opportunity for guys to learn, number one, what we're capable of, but also number two, how fine the line is in this league between being, 14-1 and being, 4-11. It's not that much. And we've got to grow up and figure out how to not make mistakes in critical situations, make the plays when we have our chances. And if we can do that, I think we can be a pretty good football team moving forward.
Yeah, Coach was telling us that, his takeaway is that you guys can compete and play with anybody in this league, but then you got to get over that hump, right, and win those type of games. That's what you're talking about, those fine points of getting over that hump.
Absolutely. And you never know when it's going to be the play. It's not necessarily the last kick of the game or a 3rd down on the last series of the ball game. There's a handful of different things that come up, whether we miss assignment or miss a play in the first half that, affect the game, just as significantly. And so I think, we've got to learn from those lessons, and we've got to be better, as a whole moving forward.
How surprised were you with Koo's wide right kick, and did you say anything to him afterwards?
Well, I told him afterwards, the next time he's in that situation, he's going to nail it, and to not doubt that for a second. He's had a great year for us. He's been extremely consistent, and his confidence should continue to be at an all-time high. It's part of the game, and you got to move forward.
What do you think about your defense today against Mahomes?
I thought the defense played well. It looked like they kept them out of a rhythm most of the day, and gave us a chance at the end of the game.
Were you pleased with the balance in the rushing attack today, Matt?
Thought we ran the ball effectively for sure. I think, and that helped. That helped us eat up some of the clock, change field position at certain times, and certainly slow down pass rush. And, I thought for the most part, our run game was effective.
Well, you got the nickname Matty Ice for leading these fourth quarter comebacks. It hasn't gone the case this way, but it's just not on the quarterback. Obviously, field goals made, we go on to overtime. But we look big picture between those Matty Ice comebacks in the fourth and what's transpired this year. Is there one or two things that kind of stand out why it's not working out like we've seen in the past from you?
Yeah, I think it's just making a play here or there. and it's really not much more than that. And so, at different times, there's been different guys, but we've got to find a way to make the plays. And again, it goes back to that, how fine the line is between wins and losses and between great teams and teams who are out of the playoffs. And the great teams find ways to get the job done, and they make the plays when they're there.
Many of the so-called experts, as we wrap up, Matt, had you guys losing by double digits, but obviously that wasn't the case. Does it say a lot about the effort, the mentality of this team? You guys are never packing it in.
Yeah, I think, that's one constant that has been here, this entire year is it's a group that is going to fight. It's a group that's going to play hard and compete every week. And, from that standpoint, I think everybody can be pleased with the type of guys we have in our locker room.